Hello, and welcome to Hello English. We're so glad you're joining us to practice your listening skills today.
It's great to be here.
Hey everyone, hello and welcome back to Hello English. And honestly, I am so happy that you are spending a little part of your day with us right now.
Hi everyone, I am Emma, and wherever you are listening from today, whether you are cooking, walking, studying, or just relaxing in bed, we are really happy that you are here with us.
And I am Ryan, and today we are going to have a very calm and honest conversation about something that quietly affects many people around the world every single day.
Yes, and today's topic is simple but very important because we are talking about how not to waste your life while waiting for the perfect moment to finally start living.
That sentence already sounds deep, Emma, and I think many listeners are already nodding their heads quietly while listening.
Honestly, Ryan, I think so too, because many people feel stuck sometimes and they feel like life is moving while they're standing still.
Exactly. And sometimes we waste years waiting for motivation, waiting for confidence, or waiting for life to suddenly become easy and clear.
But real life usually does not work like that, right, Ryan? Because life stays messy while we're learning and growing at the same time.
Yes, exactly. And today, we want this conversation to feel warm, relaxing, and encouraging, almost like two friends sitting together and talking honestly about life.
And before we begin, we want to welcome all the new listeners to Hello English, where you can improve your English slowly, naturally, and comfortably through real conversations.
Here on Hello English, we believe that learning English does not need to feel stressful or difficult all the time, because small daily listening can slowly change your confidence.
So if you enjoy calm English conversations like this one, you can subscribe to the channel and become part of our little learning community here.
And you can also leave a comment later and tell us something simple about your day, because writing even one small sentence in English helps your progress a lot.
Yes, even short comments matter because step by step, little by little, your English becomes stronger without you even noticing it immediately.
That is actually very similar to today's topic, because life also changes little by little, not all at once like in movies.
Oh yes, movies make everything look dramatic and fast, but real life is usually slower, quieter, and honestly a little awkward sometimes.
Very awkward sometimes, Emma, and I think many adults are secretly confused while pretending to know exactly what they're doing.
Honestly, that makes me laugh because it is so true, and sometimes people look very confident outside while feeling completely lost inside.
Exactly. And that is why today we want to remind our listeners that wasting your life does not only mean doing nothing all day.
Yes, because sometimes people are busy every single day, but deep inside they still feel empty, disconnected, and unhappy.
That feeling can be very painful because you suddenly realize that your days are full, but your heart still feels tired and unfinished.
And many people keep saying things like, I'll start later, or I will enjoy life after I become successful.
Yes. And sometimes later becomes next year, and then next year becomes 5 years, and suddenly a big part of life disappears quietly.
That thought feels scary sometimes, but I think it's important to talk about it honestly instead of ignoring it.
Absolutely. Because when we ignore important feelings for too long, we slowly stop listening to ourselves completely.
Ryan, do you think many people are afraid of wasting their lives, even if they don't talk about it openly?
Yes, definitely. And I think that fear becomes stronger at night when everything becomes quiet and people finally sit alone with their thoughts.
Nighttime thoughts can become very emotional sometimes, especially when people compare themselves to others on social media.
Oh, yes. Social media can make people feel very behind in life even when they are actually doing okay.
One person buys a house, another person travels the world, another person starts a business, and suddenly people begin doubting their own lives.
Exactly. And then they ask themselves questions like, am I too late? Or why is everyone moving faster than me?
Ryan, I think many listeners need to hear this today because being slower does not mean being a failure.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, life is not a race, even though society sometimes makes it feel that way.
Society loves timelines, right, Ryan? Because people always ask questions like, when will you get married? Or when will you become successful?
Yes, and sometimes those questions create pressure that slowly steals people's peace and confidence.
Especially when people already feel unsure about themselves inside, because then every question starts feeling heavy and personal.
Exactly. And little by little, people stop enjoying life because they become too focused on catching up with everyone else.
But the strange thing is that even successful people sometimes feel lost too, right, Ryan?
Yes, definitely. Because success does not automatically create happiness, peace, or meaning inside someone's heart.
I think that surprises many younger people because they believe money or status will suddenly solve every emotional problem.
Yes. But many people reach their goals and still feel empty because they forgot to actually enjoy their lives while chasing success.
That is such an important point, Ryan, because sometimes people are so focused on the future that they completely miss the present moment.
Exactly. And the present moment is where life is actually happening right now, not someday in the future.
Sometimes I think people forget that ordinary moments are also part of life, like drinking tea quietly or talking to someone you love.
Oh, yes. And honestly, some of the happiest moments in life are very small and simple instead of dramatic and perfect.
Like laughing with friends over something silly that nobody else would understand.
Or eating your favorite food after a very long and exhausting day.
Or finally cleaning your room after ignoring it for 2 weeks and suddenly feeling like a responsible adult again.
Emma, that feeling is honestly more powerful than people realize.
I know, right? Because suddenly you feel like your life is becoming organized, even if it's only one small step.
And that's important because small actions slowly create a meaningful life over time.
Ryan, why do you think people wait so long before changing their lives?
I think one reason is fear, because change feels uncomfortable and uncertainty scares people deeply.
Yes, even when people are unhappy, they sometimes stay in the same situation because it feels familiar and safe.
Exactly, because the human brain often prefers familiar pain over unknown possibilities.
Wow, that sentence feels very real and very honest at the same time.
Yeah, and honestly, many people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that hurt them, or routines that slowly drain their energy.
Not because they're weak, but because starting over feels terrifying sometimes.
Yes, and sometimes people worry too much about failing before they even try anything new.
That fear of failure can become so loud that people stop moving completely.
Exactly. And then years pass while they are still waiting for confidence that never magically arrives.
Ryan, do you think confidence actually comes after action instead of before action?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Because confidence usually grows slowly while you are trying, learning, and making mistakes along the way.
So people don't need to feel perfectly ready before starting something important.
Exactly. Because honestly, almost nobody feels completely ready in real life.
That actually makes me feel calmer somehow, because many people secretly believe they are the only confused person in the world.
But they are definitely not alone, and confusion is actually a very normal part of being human.
I think listeners need to hear this today, because people are often very hard on themselves.
Yes, people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to their friends.
That's true, because sometimes the voice inside people's heads becomes very critical and cruel.
And when that negative voice becomes constant, people slowly lose energy, motivation, and hope.
Ryan, what do you think is one sign that someone is wasting their life emotionally?
I think one sign is when someone stops feeling curious about life completely.
Interesting. Can you explain that a little simpler?
Sure, because when people stop caring, stop dreaming, and stop trying new things, life starts becoming emotionally empty.
So it's not about being perfect or successful, but about staying emotionally alive and connected.
Exactly, because life becomes meaningful when people stay curious, open, and emotionally present.
Sometimes even learning a small new skill can wake people up emotionally again.
Yes, absolutely. And that is actually why learning English can become such a beautiful journey for many people.
Because learning a language reminds people that growth is still possible at any age.
Exactly. And every new word, every sentence, and every little improvement becomes proof that change can happen slowly.
That's actually really encouraging for listeners who feel stuck in life right now.
Yes, because being stuck today does not mean you will stay stuck forever.
Ryan, I think many people believe they need one huge moment to change their entire life.
Yes, but real transformation usually happens through small, repeated actions instead of dramatic moments.
Like waking up a little earlier, taking short walks, reading more, or speaking kindly to yourself more often.
Exactly, because tiny habits slowly shape our future without making loud announcements.
That sentence sounds peaceful somehow.
It does, because real growth is often quiet and invisible at first.
Like planting a seed and waiting patiently before seeing anything above the ground.
Yes, and many people quit too early because they expect immediate results from everything.
But meaningful things usually take time, right, Ryan?
Absolutely. And patience is one of the hardest but most valuable skills in life.
Especially now because modern life makes people expect fast results all the time.
Yes, people want instant success, instant happiness, instant confidence, and instant answers.
But human growth is slower than internet speed.
Emma, that might be the most accurate sentence of today's conversation.
Thank you very much, Ryan. I worked very hard on that joke.
And honestly, it was worth it.
But seriously, though, people need to remember that slow progress is still real progress.
Yes, and sometimes the slow seasons of life teach us the deepest lessons about ourselves.
Ryan, did you ever feel like you were wasting time in your own life?
Oh, definitely. And I think almost everyone experiences that feeling at some point.
What helped you during those moments?
Honestly, I stopped waiting for perfect motivation and started focusing on very small daily actions instead.
Can you give an example for listeners?
Sure.
Ryan, before the break, we talked about how people often wait too long before truly living their lives.
Yes, and many people spend years thinking instead of acting because fear becomes stronger than curiosity.
Fear can become very sneaky sometimes because it does not always look dramatic or obvious.
Exactly, because sometimes fear sounds very reasonable and calm inside people's minds.
Like saying, I will start next month, or maybe I'm not ready yet.
Yes, and sometimes those thoughts continue for so long that people slowly build a life around avoidance instead of growth.
That sentence feels very important because avoidance can quietly become a habit without people noticing it.
Absolutely, and when people avoid difficult conversations, difficult changes, or difficult dreams, they slowly stop trusting themselves.
Ryan, what do you mean by trusting yourself? I mean, believing that you can handle challenges, mistakes, uncertainty, and uncomfortable situations without completely falling apart emotionally.
So self-trust grows when people actually face life instead of hiding from it.
Exactly, because courage is not about feeling fearless, and it is about moving forward even while feeling nervous.
I really like that definition because many people think brave people never feel scared.
But honestly, brave people often feel scared too, and the difference is that they keep moving anyway.
That makes bravery feel more human and realistic somehow.
Yes, because real life is not about becoming emotionally fearless superheroes, it is about becoming emotionally stronger little by little.
Ryan, do you think people waste time trying to become perfect versions of themselves before they allow themselves to be happy?
Oh yes, definitely. And many people say things like, I will finally relax when everything becomes perfect.
But life rarely becomes perfectly organized forever.
Exactly, because there will always be another problem, another challenge, or another thing to improve.
So if happiness always depends on perfection, people may never actually enjoy their lives.
Yes, and that is why people need to learn how to appreciate imperfect moments too.
Like laughing during messy situations instead of becoming angry immediately.
Or enjoying small peaceful moments even during stressful periods of life.
Ryan, I think many listeners are living under constant pressure right now.
Yes, and modern life can feel emotionally exhausting because people are always expected to perform, improve, and achieve something.
Sometimes people feel guilty even while resting, which honestly feels very unhealthy.
Absolutely, because rest is not laziness, and human beings need emotional and physical recovery too.
I think many people forget that machines can work nonstop, but human hearts cannot.
Wow, Emma, that sentence is really beautiful and very true at the same time.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm trying my best today.
And you're doing great.
Thank you very much. I will remember this compliment forever now.
Please do, because I rarely give professional compliments this powerful.
That made me laugh softly, and honestly, listeners probably laugh too.
Hopefully, because life already feels serious enough sometimes.
Yes, small laughter matters, and little joyful moments help people feel emotionally alive again.
Exactly, because a meaningful life is not built only through achievements. It is also built through connection, peace, humor, and love.
Ryan, what do you think happens when people ignore their emotional needs for too long?
I think they slowly become emotionally numb, disconnected, and exhausted even if their life looks successful outside.
That emotional numbness can feel very lonely sometimes.
Yes, because people may continue functioning normally while quietly feeling empty inside every day.
And many people hide that emptiness behind busy schedules and endless distractions.
Exactly, because distractions are easier than facing uncomfortable truths honestly.
Social media, constant entertainment, and endless scrolling can become emotional escape escape tool sometimes.
Yes, and there is nothing wrong with entertainment itself, but people also need moments of reflection and stillness.
Ryan, do you think people spend too much time living automatically without awareness?
Absolutely, because many people wake up, repeat routines, feel stressed, sleep, and then repeat the same cycle again without questioning anything.
That sounds sad when you describe it like that.
It can become sad, especially when people stop asking themselves what truly matters to them personally.
I think many people know deep inside that something feels missing, but they're afraid to explore those feelings.
Yes, because exploring your feelings honestly can lead to difficult realizations and important life changes.
But avoiding those realizations forever also creates suffering in the long run.
Exactly, and temporary comfort sometimes creates long-term regret.
Regret is something many people fear deeply.
Yes, especially the feeling of realizing too late that they ignored their dreams, emotions, or relationships for many years.
Ryan, what kind of regrets do you think people often experience later in life?
I think many people regret not expressing love openly enough, not trying things bravely enough, and not enjoying ordinary life more fully.
That feels emotional because those regrets sound deeply human and relatable.
Yes, and interestingly, people rarely regret small embarrassing mistakes as much as they regret missed opportunities.
Wow, that's actually very true when I think about it carefully.
Most people eventually forget awkward moments, but they remember chances they were too afraid to take.
Ryan, I think some listeners are probably thinking about their own lives very deeply right now.
I hope they are reflecting gently instead of judging themselves harshly.
Yes, because this conversation is not about guilt or shame.
Exactly, and it is about awareness, honesty, and giving yourself permission to start again slowly.
Starting again can feel scary, but also hopeful at the same time.
Yes, because every new beginning carries both uncertainty and possibility together.
Ryan, do you believe it is ever too late for someone to change their life meaningfully?
Honestly, no, because people can grow emotionally, mentally, and spiritually at many different stages of life.
That answer probably gives comfort to listeners who feel behind right now.
I hope so, because life is not a straight line, and everybody grows at different speeds and in different directions.
Some people discover their passions very young, while others discover themselves much later.
Exactly, and both journeys are valid and meaningful.
I think society pressures people to have everything figured out very early.
Yes, and honestly, that pressure is unrealistic because human beings continue changing throughout life.
Ryan, what if someone listening feels completely lost right now?
Then I would tell them to stop trying to solve their whole life immediately and instead focus on one small, honest step today.
One small, honest step sounds very calming compared to huge, impossible expectations.
Yes, because tiny actions are emotionally manageable, and manageable actions are easier to repeat consistently.
Can you give listeners some examples of small, honest steps?
Sure, maybe someone starts sleeping earlier, taking daily walks, reading 10 pages, speaking kindly to themselves, or finally asking for help.
Those actions sound simple, but they can slowly create real emotional change over time.
Exactly, because meaningful lives are usually built through repeated ordinary actions instead of dramatic transformations.
Ryan, I think people often underestimate the power of ordinary routines.
Absolutely, because daily habits quietly shape identity little by little.
So if someone repeatedly treats themselves with care, patience, and discipline, their life slowly changes from the inside.
Yes, and eventually their confidence becomes stronger because their actions start matching their values.
That connection between actions and values feels very important.
It is important because inner peace often comes from living honestly instead of pretending constantly.
Pretending can become emotionally exhausting after a while.
Very exhausting, because people waste huge amounts of energy trying to look perfect instead of being authentic.
Ryan, do you think authenticity is becoming harder in modern life?
Sometimes yes, because people are surrounded by pressure to constantly impress others online and offline.
And when people focus too much on appearances, they can slowly lose touch with their real selves.
Exactly, and then they begin living for approval instead of genuine fulfillment.
Fulfillment feels quieter than approval somehow.
Yes, because approval depends on outside reactions while fulfillment grows from internal alignment and meaning.
Ryan, that sentence sounds wise and peaceful.
Thank you, Emma. I'm trying to sound emotionally intelligent today.
Congratulations, it's working very well so far.
Perfect. My life mission is finally complete now.
Please relax, Ryan. We still have many minutes left in this conversation.
Ah, yes. Thank you for reminding me professionally.
You're welcome.
But seriously, listeners should remember that wasting your life does not always happen through huge mistakes.
Sometimes it happens quietly through constant distraction, emotional avoidance, and endless postponing.
Exactly. And many people keep saying they will begin living later after achieving one more thing first.
Their life is already happening right now during ordinary mornings, difficult afternoons, and quiet evenings.
Yes, and if people are always mentally living in the future, they miss the reality of the present completely.
Ryan, how can people become more present in daily life?
I think one way is slowing down enough to actually notice ordinary experiences again.
Like paying attention while drinking coffee instead of scrolling on the phone automatically.
Or listening carefully during conversations instead of thinking about work constantly.
Or taking walks without needing music, videos, or distractions every single second.
Yes, because silence and presence help people reconnect with themselves gradually.
Ryan, I feel like many people are emotionally overstimulated these days.
Definitely, because modern life constantly demands attention, reactions, and mental energy from people.
Notifications alone can make someone feel stressed before breakfast.
Very true. And honestly, sometimes the healthiest thing people can do is sit quietly for a few minutes without consuming anything.
That sounds simple, but probably difficult for many people now.
Yes, because stillness feels uncomfortable when someone has spent years avoiding their thoughts.
But eventually, stillness can become peaceful instead of scary.
Exactly. And peace usually grows slowly through practice and self-awareness.
Ryan, do you think meaningful relationships are also an important part of not wasting life?
Oh, absolutely. Because human connection deeply affects emotional well-being and life satisfaction.
Many people focus heavily on career success while unintentionally neglecting relationships.
Yes, and later they sometimes realize they spent more time answering emails than talking honestly with people they loved.
That realization sounds heartbreaking.
It can be, because at the end of life, people usually remember relationships and experiences more than productivity statistics.
Productivity statistics sound very cold when you say it like that.
Exactly, because humans are emotional beings, not robots trying to complete endless tasks forever.
Ryan, what makes a relationship meaningful in your opinion?
I think meaningful relationships